guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jesus, and today we're going to be doing a longer version of a man's haircut. We are going to be doing the large guard on the sides, and I'll taper it down to a lower guard near the edges, just to give it a more natural hairline. The top we'll go ahead and cut with scissors, and that's it. So without any further delay, let's jump right into it. Alright, here we're going to start with the number 4 guard, and I'm going to be going up and away from the hair, and I'll show you in a second how I do it. So we call this like a C movement, so kind of a C shape. So that's the way to blend the best from the sides to the top. You're always going to go up and out just to get a more seamless blend when you get to the top longer length. And we're just going to take this all the way around. And as I go, I just clean up here and there at the bottom just to kind of keep things clean. We are going to be using a total of 3 guards. Guard number 4, number 3, and number 2. And we're just going to taper that down just to give it a more natural look at the hairline. And so it also looks much more blended. Here we are with the number 3. I'm just going around the hairline. And so we basically go from the bottom up to where you left off with the number 4 guard. And again, it's the same C movement. So you're going up and away to blend to the previously cut hair, which is the number 4. And since we're back from quarantine working, we've got to work around the mask. But the new normal now is having to wear a mask and cut around it. So I'm going to move here now to the number 2 guard, but with an open blade. As you can see, I open it. And this is going to give me a little bit larger guard. So I call it a 2.5 guard when you open up the guard on the clippers. Matt here doesn't like it super short, but he does like it to look tapered. So number 2 is going to be short enough, or the shortest that will take it. As you can see, I'm blending up to the number 3 previously guard. Here I am going to go around with the trimmers and clean up all the hairline. I am going to have him hold his mask. It's a cute, nice little tip. Have them hold it while you can take off the band around the ear and then clean it up. Here I'm just blending it to his beard and cleaning up the edges and taking off really any excess hair that might have been left out from the clippers. So I do it clipper over comb just to kind of get any little bulk that was left on the very edges of the hairline. As you can see, he's got a little gray spot in above his ear. So it's not a mistake, it's just a little spot of gray that looks like it's not blended, but it definitely is. And with Matt's coloring, we run into a lot of things that, a lot of hair colors that are different. Some people are more gray on the sides and less on top. So, when you're cutting it, it's always going to look like it's uneven. But once it's all dry and textured, it'll all look seamless and blended. Here again, I'm just taking off the bulk. And so I basically go horizontal with my comb, and then I just kind of tap on the little extra long lengths, and I move my comb on up just to give it a more blended effect. Again, here I'm going up with the comb and taking out any little bulk that might be left. I'm not a fan of doing the clippers straight across on the bottom because I feel like that is an artificial hairline. So I try and blend it more away and taper it at the bottom, so when his hairline starts to grow out, it's always going to grow out much more natural, and there's going to be no hard lines. Again, I'm going to create the line on the edge on the other side and clean around the ear. And again, take off all those little extra bulky edges that might have been left from the clippers not getting it. I do create that clean line on the sides because it just looks nice and clean and sharp. Follow that around, and then I'm going to blend that into his beard. Apologize for the elbow. Just trying to get clear view for you guys. Again, as I was saying before, I don't usually do the trimmers straight across at the bottom. I always blend it with the trimmers going up or down, taking any little extra little hairs that might not belong there, but still creating a soft hairline. And I will go back after the trimmers. I'm going to take my razor and just clean up his neckline, but without creating any harsh lines. As you can see there, I'm just kind of cleaning up little corners there, but I'm not cutting into the hairline. I'm just cleaning up his neck from any of those little long hairs. A razor is a nice tool because it always gets it much, much closer than the trimmers. Makes the haircut last longer, especially around the neckline, since men's hair around the hairline grows so quickly. Alright, we're going to move on to the top. We're just going to spray it down with water. And we are going to start with vertical sections on the side, and we're just going to blend that up to the top. When I get close to the hairline on the sides, I tend to push it back and cut back. That way I'm not cutting too much length on the sides, and I can always come back later and blend that front to the sides. Again, keep in mind with guys, you don't want the haircut to go too rounded, so you're just going to go and cut straight up from the sides. Most men, we normally cut it more square on top because it just is a more masculine look, and it just looks more appealing on the haircut when you have the weight on the perimeter of the head. You can see I'm just taking out all the little lengths that don't belong there. Alright, now we're going to move to the top. I am going to be taking horizontal sections, and I'm going to be point cutting all of the top. So I am cutting straight across. As you can see, I'm not going and making the corners. I'm not taking any of the corners out. I'm keeping the length on the corners, just so you can keep a nice weight line on the edges. Point cutting always gives the hair, in my opinion, just more texture and more variation in the hair, especially after at the end if you're wanting to make it look messy or just textured or tousled. It's just a nice way to keep the hair soft and much more blendable, especially when you have finer hair on top. It gives it a nice texture, almost makes it look um, a little more thick at times, especially after you put some type of pomade or paste or wax on at the end. Here I'm taking a little bit of those corners out, but not too much, just to kind of keep the blend from the sides to the top. On the hairline, I also point cut, but I slightly bring it over to the side and cut almost like in a point. So the, the sides are brought out to the sides, but I'm almost making almost like a V section cut. This will allow him to go either way on the hair, give it a nice texture, and it'll keep the hair, from giving you that straight across bangs, which is not attractive on a guy. I always bring the bangs way up and cut. That way when they lay down, it's a much softer Right now, I'm just taking off a little bit more, making sure that it's laying right and enough texture on there. Right here, I go basically when I'm going to do the crown area, I basically go from his regrowth, which is the swirl or colic, as you would say, and then just go forward like that. Here, I'm taking vertical sections just to blend anything that doesn't belong. I'm slightly doing it a little bit shorter in the crown and a little bit longer as I get toward the front. Alright, and for here, for the final little touches, at what I call it, to make the haircut a little bit more um, detailed out, I like to come back with the texture shears, or blending shears, depending on what you call it, just to get out any of the little bit of bulk that I might have left out. And this makes it more of a seamless blend. And so I basically just notching out anything that doesn't belong. But because it's a blending shear, it gives you a nice soft line and very, very blended. Alright, now that we're finished with the cut, we're just going to put some gel on it, get ready to blow dry, and put in a lot of texture there. I'm basically going to dry it just with my fingers. Again, I always blow dry from the crown forward, just so I don't get anything sticking up on the crown or the colic area. So you blow dry from the back forward, and this creates a lot of texture moving forward, and then when you get to the front, just spike it up, move it around. This doesn't have to be perfect. You basically just want to add some texture in there and a little volume. Alright guys, here is the final look after we put a little bit of paste on there. Matt was really happy. I was happy. We got through the mask situation. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed this and hope you guys have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon.